Welcome back yet again. Now, I know I've been doing a lot of videos, an awful lot of videos. And sooner or later, that's got to at least slow down. Uh, I'm going to run out of computers. But not quite yet. Here's something new in the collection. Now, if you look at it down there, you can see that mirrory finish. It is an MDD, your mirrored drive doors. It is a little different than the MDD that I had shown you a while back. Let's take a look. Alright, for comparison's sake, I've put my two PowerMac G4 MDDs side by side. And looking here at the front of the machines, you're going to see nothing looks different. However, they are definitely not identical machines. So we're going to need to look further than just the front. Now, pardon me as I move around. Now I have to look at the back of the machines. There you see the ADC port and the DVI port. And down here, USB 1.1 by 2, Firewire 400 by 2, Firewire 800, and then of course the other I/O that we're used to. Coming over here, you see the same ports from the graphics card, USB 1.1 by 2, Firewire 400 by 2, and then down to the Ethernet. So yes, the first machine, which was featured in the previous video, was the Firewire 800 model of the MDD. Now if we look in here, having opened up the machine, turning our attention to this heat sink here, then the hard drive that's in there, and as you may remember, I put in a 500 gigabyte SSD underneath there, and it's just sort of stuck in there, of course. All right. So, see the 4 RAM slots, which are all populated, and the other PCI slots, which are unpopulated. All right, now we come over here. Hard drive, of course. I have done no modifications to this machine as of yet. I will. RAM slots, only 3 of the slots are populated. None of the PCI slots are populated. But let's take a look. Here's this heatsink. It's a big heatsink, as was the other. But what would be the difference? Well, in the material, really. This machine, at least according to the seller, I have not yet booted it up, is, for comparison, this is a dual processor 1 gigahertz G4. So there are 2 processors in there. Whereas here, there's only one. Now, one other distinction. This machine is capable of booting into OS 9. This machine is not. The Firewire 800 machines were the first of the Power Mac series that could not boot into OS 9. Although I understand, actually, if you downgrade the firmware of this machine to that of this machine, you can boot OS 9, and the FireWire 800 port still works and delivers FireWire 800 speed. Pretty cool, actually. All right, well, I've got to close these computers up, and we're going to boot this one up and see what's actually going on with it. Okay, we've got everything connected. Let's start it up. I don't really know what OS we're going to see. Tiger. Gotta be Tiger. Yep, 10.4.11. Exactly right. Let's look at System Profiler. Okay, we've got a Philips optical drive. 80 gig hard drive. No Bluetooth. Okay, reads DVDs and writes CDs, so no DVD burning. It's okay, I've got computers that'll burn DVDs. FireWire, we know it's there. Okay. Graphics. Okay, it's a GeForce. 32 megs of VRAM. Not great, but does the job. Memory. Got the empty slot. Okay, the 1 gig is made up of one 512 DIMM and two 256s. So I'll have to get 3 more 512s. For now, I can borrow some memory from the other MDD, of course. No PCI cards. I knew that. I've looked in there. All right. Yep, USB. It says Studio Display. Of course, it's the Cinema Display, which is working just fine. Okay. So that's what System Profiler tells us. Let's have a look. I have trouble seeing that pointer. It's so small, black on the blue background. What kind of apps we got in here? Yeah, I bought from this seller before. The only app this is a clean install. The only app he's added is TechTool Pro 6, which is kind of cool. All right, now having a look in System Preferences. Just notice that you cannot see the whole screen, can you? I have to move it back a little bit. There, that should do it. Okay. Huh. Huh. And this is Tiger. We just saw that. There is no
classic icon. That's a little surprising. And we looked in here before. Looking at it, but yeah, I mean, these are all the OS 10 folders. There's no system folder for OS 9. There's no Mac OS 9 applications, so there simply isn't OS 9. Well, the clean install. This machine is supposed to be able to boot into OS 9. Well, you know, I have a thought. I've got this G-Mobile thing here, which has got, this will serve to test as to whether or not the FireWire is working. Okay, yep, the FireWire is working fine. So we see this hard drive has got an OS 9 installation, OS 10 Tiger, and OS 10 Leopard. This machine is going to be easily capable of booting Leopard. Okay. But this won't boot into OS 9. I'm going to be a little ticked off. Well, it gives us the option. Let's give it a try. Okay, this looks like OS 9 booting up. It's a good thing. And there's Happy Mac. And there's no mouse. Okay, suddenly I have... Okay, this is not supposed to happen. Well, I'm going to wait this out a little bit. You stay tuned. We'll be back. Okay, yeah, it just was completely hung up. I had to force the machine off. And I've come up here into the boot manager. I suppose it's possible that the machine won't boot into a FireWire external. It seems unlikely. I know these machines won't boot into USB without some coaxing and open firmware. Let's see if it'll boot into Leopard. Okay. It went black screen, but it didn't stay black. That's good. We've got the cursor and we've got the Leopard wallpaper. And we've got Leopard. Okay. That's a good sign. All right. Now, next, I'm going to try booting it into Tiger on the Firewire drive. Because I know that was able to access Classic. Boots up quickly. I gotta give it credit. Okay. Oh yeah, you know, I believe I may have said in a previous clip that it was a dual 1 gigahertz. It's actually dual 867 megahertz, which should be fine. You know, the 733 megahertz Quicksilver behave very, very well, so I'm not concerned about that. So what I want to see here is system preferences. And yep, there's Classic. You can stop searching now. We have one. Okay, let's see if the Classic environment will start. Oh, I shouldn't still. I don't really want to do those updates, although it shouldn't matter. Okay, Classic started up. See if we can run an app. Whoops. It's right there, not in there. Simple text will do. And it opens right up. It works. All right, so, I mean, Classic works. I wonder why that native installation just doesn't have the Classic icon. And why we can't boot into OS 9 directly. We really should. I'm going to have to research that. Because I really, really want to get OS 9. I mean, the plans I've got for this machine. We are going to upgrade the RAM. And, as usual, put an SSD. I've got another adapter. I've got a couple of SSDs that I think ought to work. At least I'm going to try. And then on that, I was going to put partitions for OS 9, for Tiger, and for Leopard. Makes sense to me. Well, we shall see how that turns out, though, because I'm going to have to do some research. See if I can figure out why the heck we're not able to boot. All right. Well, you know, I'm gonna do that research, and then we'll see what I come up with. So, I don't think this is the end of the video just yet. Hang with me.
Well, I tried, after I ended the last clip, booting back into the Tiger installation that's on the built-in hard drive, just to see if maybe having run Classic on the FireWire installation might have kicked it into being. Nope, didn't happen. So I've been doing some research. If I'm understanding it right, OS 9 needed a certain amount of tweaking to run on this machine. Apple was at a point where they really didn't want people running OS 9 anymore. They wanted to push people to OS 10. So basically, if you install OS 9 using a universal install disk, it won't run. Now, I didn't use a universal install disk. I used a disk for an eMac, which is fundamentally a universal installer. It's not any different, so it works. And it won't run. So I'm going to have to try to find... Now, unfortunately, the machine did not come with its disk. It came in the original box, which is cool, with the original styrofoam and all of that. But it didn't have the System Restore disks with it, which is too bad. But there are enough disk images out there online, I'm pretty sure I can get one. And then we will see if I can get OS 9 up and running. It should be able to run OS 9, and I am determined that I'm going to get it to run OS 9. The whole point in having the machine, really, is that it is by quite a bit, the most powerful machine I've got that is capable of booting into OS 9. The FireWire 800 MDD won't boot into OS 9. We shall see. So yeah, I'm going to put the RAM in it. I'll put the hard drive in it, and then try to get operating systems installed. As I think I said in that last clip, I'm going to try to get partitions on that SSD for OS 9, for Tiger, and for Leopard. The biggest being for Leopard, of course. So probably a 500 or so gig SSD, 20 for OS 9, which is quite a bit by OS 9 terms. Maybe 80 for Leopard, which is certainly adequate. It's on an 80 gig drive now. And then either the balance, maybe like 200 for Leopard, and then leave a fourth partition that will be a data drive that all the OSs can access. That makes sense. So we'll stay tuned. Those would be the two big upgrades. I also have on order a FireWire 800 PCI card that I'm going to try tossing into that. It should put, I think, 3 FireWire 800 ports on it, and then basically give it all of the functionality of a FireWire 800 MDD with more ports, but still, assuming I get it figured out, able to boot into OS 9. At least this is the plan, so stay tuned, and you can see how this progresses. I would imagine there'll be an upgrade video. I'm pretty much ready to do the RAM and SSD at any time, and I think that PCI card will be in Monday anyhow. So, yeah, you'll get an upgrade video, I'm quite sure, and then a final report on how the machine is working. Actually, maybe there'll be two separate. The upgrade video do a separate video on getting OS 9 to run, hopefully, and then the final video on the machine. Okay, lots of stuff going on here. Thank heaven, because it gives me something to do while we're all stuck indoors. And I, as I said in a previous video, I do hope that maybe these videos are helping some people out there pass some of the time with something interesting to see. In any event, be good to other people, particularly be good to yourselves, and take very good and careful care. We'll see you soon.